Rola Dangerous Lamadan Gunjur Rinpoche Nambazimje Danazimje Namjelo Chuzun Rovara Jinje Labdezo Cholamdun Rovara Jinje Labdezo Lamchuva Zavara Jinje Labdezo Chubayi Jezo Javara Jinje Labdezo Tobe Dachi Chavara Jinje Labdezo Tuje Jinje Membara Jinje Labdezo Jandre Thala Pebara Jinje Labdezo Njurje Tandandam Jinje-la-de-zo, ya-la-ma-da, Gunjo-rinpoche, Namba-zum-je-da-la-zum-je-lam-je-lo, Chuzun-ro-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Shu-nam-dun-ro-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Lam-chu-ba-za-wa-ra, Jinje-la, Chuba-yi-je-zo, Cha-wa-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Tobe-da-ju-ru-wa-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Tuje-jinje-membara, Jinje, Tenri Tala Gebara Jinje-la-de-zo, Njurje-tun-dan-den-bara, Jinje-la-de-zo, Lama-da, Gunjo-rinpoche, Namba-zum-je-da-la-zum-je-lam-je-lo, Shu-lam-dun-ro-wa-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Lam-chu-ba-za-wa-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Chuba-yi-je-zo, Cha-wa-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Tobe-da-ju-ru-wa-ra, Jinje-la-de-zo, Tuje-jinje-membara, Jinje-la-de-zo, Tenri Tala Gebara Njurje-tun-dan-den-bara, Jinje-la-de-zo. 다 저랑 또 되는 다리 반절지 물을 rinpoche 토바당 산제지 lemba 당잘 라마기 신이지 제수 zon에 되는 대배 산제 탐제 산제배 람 마음배 산제 탐제 산제와는 줄비게 람 다들 산제 탐제 산제비게 람 지판이잖아 차자 전부 어다 차자 전부 쓰는데 주중 산제 탐제 산제비게 람 어한테는 산제 domba 남바 산제비게 domba 좀 된데 이제 특파 숨라 소변 동아지 사바다 자체비게 추들 삼제 메자바 손바 대다 탐지지 조진영보다 가인잖아 차자 전부인데 어한테는 다 자가르지 주도 잠소 따비되네 또 주신 사라 하라 소베게 되네 텔로나 마르파 멜라 손에 림베 유데 되네 가주 주도 잠소 세테네 가주 주도 잠소 따비되네 또 당상변나 잠불량나 나 천년다다 용수 잡게 되네 멜라레바 생게베 주도 천년다여바 호 텔라 소베게 너나 가주 주도 잠소게 양조 탐진 종회 네 다때 강의 산하더니 말아서 차제 전부 쓰기대 대인도 때문에 다 다른 말아서 차제 전부게 이람 제숨다 따군 조숨 지내라 퇴성 고숨 지주게 두갑 더반데 되네 신도는 작가라서
One should always be reminded of the fact that one has acquired, rare and difficult to acquire, the experience of human birth in general, and also particularly precious human birth with all the necessary faculties intact, and with a yearning to want to pursue the path of the practice of the Dharma, and the path of the practice of the Dharma in general also being available to one, and that one has the access to the guidance of the unbroken lines of the teachings by kind masters, teachers of the unbroken lineages of understanding and practice. And particularly the path of Mahamudra, which is the path that Buddhas of the past have treaded on and thus experience complete Buddhahood, and Buddhas of the, it is also equally the most important, sort of the main way or highway for all the Buddhas of the present. And because of the profundity and the nature of the path of Mahamudra, that it will also continue to remain as the highway or the main path for Buddhas of the future too. And it is thus, it is the path of Mahamudra that is the vehicle towards the experience of complete enlightenment for the Buddhas of the three times. Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha of our time, also in turning the wheel of the teachings, taught the Mahamudra teachings as the very cream or the essence of the teachings of the Buddha Dharma. And as it has been taught by Shakyamuni Buddha, that during the time Buddhism was prevalent in India, ocean of Mahasiddhas, enlightened beings, were produced through the practice of Mahamudra. Such eminent teachers as the great Mahasiddha Saraha, or Tilopa and Naropa, and so forth. And later, as the teachings change its course of direction in terms of prevalence, and in Tibet also that many enlightened beings came through because of the truth of the path of Mahamudra. That the path of Mahamudra all along having been a sort of testimony as to the authentic path and the most profound path. And even within the Kagyü lineage alone, great many enlightened ones came about, more commonly known as the ocean of Kagyü Mahasiddhas. Another way of saying how great many or innumerable numbers of enlightened ones came about as a result of the Mahamudra path. Of course, the renowned among them, as renowned as the sun and the moon, are the one of the greatest and incomparable forefathers of the Kagyü lineage, the great yogi and Master Milarepa. And so the unbroken line of the teachings has been maintained, and this time, within our lifetimes, or within your lifetimes, not only you have an opportunity with all faculties intact, come into contact with the precious teachings of the Dharma, but have opportunity to hear the unbroken line of the practice of the Mahamudra teachings, essence of the Mahamudra teachings, view, meditation and action as well as from the point of view of ground, path and fruition. And not only should one be reminded of these most precious and auspicious opportunities that one has, one must have the experience of sense of how incredibly fortunate one is. And when one pursues the practice of the Dharma, as well as does learns the teachings of the Dharma through instructions, it is but obvious that one should do it with a joyous sense of enthusiasm.
Tene ta chaje sembo tela tene chedang ge tene jilan resun je namja tene tawa tene nawa sensu trupa sem jeme de tiana paba la soba tizu port ne khasang na to charres ta tene ge kapsu tene gomba ta gomba res ta ta venelo te gomba la tene ji manam ke tate ke na la leje sorve gomje male sing tamarin de dongge majo ba majo nyoma ramba jo shi be sende nyamne ke shin jongwa de sho ta de ki tene tsuji de ta tela khade sana ta ta be ne lo ke tene chö tamje semje rang xin dang sem de yang de ne yeme da jianga da xia la so be ge zhe be ta tamje dang cha wa ji mo song tamje dang cha wa ji to ne da gom be kap se kar ko se na ne ta be to be ge ta be ki ne ji to ba de de la de ne lo yi zo je ne de ne sarwa dong ba da song zhou la so be ge lo yi zo je de je ge zhe be ge gom ji ke ma xiu ba gom ji ma le ba yang de ne be ji sem ji zhe wa zan ne me ne de ne yang tamal ge dun ji de ne ji ran de nian zhong xia dang de ne ji den di ge do na number to ba de ge yang nam do chu be ge wang de yang ma song ba taman dun ji long ma jue ba tene kandre go yor sana tene semje nelo rashi kan yo ba te king o te ma ju tela zu ju ma je ne tene korang ge rashi nyuma korang nyume semje rashi kan yo ba te ke korang rang bab ge ma la nyambar jo shi ba ti ma la sha shi ba ma ju nyuma rang bab jo shi ba sem de nyamne ke shin jong wa jo si te ta be tene nelo semje tene tela ne ti tene ki dang korsa la so ba pang ne tene ti yun di jong ne nyam ne jong wa la ne che ba sho den den nyam ne ki jong wa te tene de cha je chen ba tam ba ma tu ji pa ti yun di ya ne jong ba sho si yes
presenting the Mahamudra teachings from the perspective of view, meditation and action or activity. Yesterday, Rinpoche, having gone into some length on the view and to sum it up, being that how the arising of the world of phenomena is no other than the appearance of mind or projection of mind. As for the mind itself is concerned, and it is beyond the conceptual notion of existence or non-existence, or the being both of them, beyond the conceptual realm of being this or not being that, and yet at the same time the self-seeing quality or characteristic of awareness continues. So we have thus in this way talked about the view. Now with regard to the actual practice, so the practice of meditation, then the next line verse that follows talks about the practice of meditation, and here the meaning of the verse is essentially when one is doing the practice of meditation, that it must be free of effort involved. On one hand, it must be free of effort involved, mental, conceptual effort involved, in that sense that trying to sort of conceive of clarity, or trying to conceive of emptiness, and trying to conceive of the inseparability of appearance and emptiness, not thus, therefore mental or conceptually effort involved, nor it should be just letting the mind be carried away by habitual distraction, or habitual the patterns of constant wandering in the way of lost in the thoughts and the attitude of attachment and aversion and various other habitual distractions. Then, free of effort involved conceptual notion of meditation, as well as free of habitual wandering of the mind, simply allowing the naked awareness of mind, naked or the innate awareness of mind, to rest naturally at ease, and to be able to continue to foster that kind of experience is knowing how to foster the mind in this way is a skillful then way of allowing the natural wakefulness of mind to become manifest. And so as in a prayer, aspirational prayer form, it is saying that may one become skilled at continuing to allow one's mind to rest in the naked awareness, natural awareness of the mind. So this particular verse, or the foreline, is very important in that whether one is doing shine practice or shamatha, calm abiding, whether one is doing laktong or vipassana meditation, practice of insight, and whether one is doing Mahamudra meditation practice, that these elements are necessary in order to be able to put one's mind in that meditative atmosphere. whether with the object of focus or without the object of focus, one got to know how to sort of place it right, so to speak, place one's mind right, and how not to fall into any extremes, and in terms of obstacles, in terms of fabrications or contrivances. So this verse, as has been explained, in terms of not to get into effort, involve conceptual the notion of meditation, nor to let it wander, and simply being able to rest naturally with the method or in the nature of the mind, as whatever the case may be.
남도 시 요란 주기기 되네 남도 원주로 봐대 말아서 학고도 봐 서로와 될라 라파 되네 말아서 학고 마도 배치 요란 주기 남도 매나이 양 되네 나 시스템 코랑 그 때문에 남도 차고 주대가 잘라 차와 어때 인데 되네 다 간들 지내 야고 용할라 남도 라파다 남도 차와 차라 또 베기 양쪽이 말았다고 하더라고요. 하시다. 어때네 요와 매비 템기 양소 시스템이 코로나 이제 내가 봤더니 요매 양소 때문에 내가 봤지. 내나양 될라양지 당사면은 되게 요 말이 양소 나라 들려 봤나 이거는 되게 요 말이 들지 요봐 양소 들지 요봐다 들어가 있는데 되네 샘때 내나양 양 될라 증위 증목 되네 배 요봐요나 되네 되게 요 말이 증목 요고 저마다 들어와 되네 된 비용 대남 트래픽이 되네 신에게 장소 좀 메어와 좀 비셔 장소 메어다 좀 비셔 단도는 배드 장소로 나오네 되네 센터 남도 발았다 증목이 요가 되서 메 장소다 담아다 있네 다 신에게 기분을 어디 다시 잡아봐 이제 잡아 다시 프랑스
So, what has been explained, being how to generally rest the mind in meditative atmosphere or state. Now, the following verse is specifically in connection with the Shine meditation of calm abiding, and it is taught with the example of an ocean, that how the example of ocean. In our mind, we encounter or experience gross distractions as well as subtle distractions. Gross distractions are sort of obvious thoughts in connection with whatever external objects and the various obvious thoughts of conflicting emotional tendencies and in relationship with. So whether it's from the point of view of attachment or aversion or whatever else, thoughts that are obvious to us. And subtle distractions or subtle thoughts of distraction are those that are not incredibly obvious, but nevertheless there is a sort of underlying mental chatter happening, and which one can say, oh yes, I'm so much distracted, but at the same time there's a quiet sort of mental whisper or chatter is happening, and that just as a tranquil ocean should be free of the play of the waves, be they huge waves or small waves in the form of sort of ripples, that the Shine practice as an ocean should be free of the waves of subtle and gross thoughts of distractions. And so one's mind must rest thus in the open ocean of stability. Just as an ocean that is stable and tranquil, one's mind must rest in its nature of stability. But the stability and free from distractions of thoughts should also at the same time be free of mental dullness of mind, slothfulness, in that because even if the ocean water is very calm and waveless, but then if there are all kinds of dust particles within the ocean, then the clarity of the water still cannot become manifest. And so, like a particle of dirt or dust-free ocean water, and one's mind should also have experience of clarity. It must not be just free of distraction, but at the same time free of dullness. And so if one is able to allow one's mind to rest free of dullness as well as thoughts or waves of thoughts of distractions, then one is able to rest one's mind in the calm abiding experience of the ocean of shamatha, or the ocean of calm abiding experience of Shine.
Tavi yul Sultan Kado Irla Sopa Semi Yulende Sem Tela what and Tasha so the Kado Irla Sopa Semi Yukayam Tasha the Tower Yulme Sem Tela then Gonjunke Hiraki Meki Yane Yandu Debe says Tamesama Yan Debe says Tome Tune Jigan Hagaton, the Jiddy, Zoda Kado Il Soba, Tesha, Kayam, Tonju Medic, Tome Tune Jigan, Hagar, Tongu. Teta within a Tondu Mebiton, Hagar Tomba Tella, De Yenam, Menam, San Goy Redo. Yimikit, then Neloke Tuntala, Tetum. Shangpa Teni, Tatela Yena Menat Sambiki, Loiki Tatum Shangpa Teni, Shangpa Teni, Teni, Shuba Meba Rangi Sendi Mode, rangi ni shiba sho that is how with them.
Then the next verse explains the essence of the Saktong, or the Vipassana insight, and, in Sanskrit Vipassana, and in Tibetan Saktong, which has the meaning of panoramic insight, and when one sees with the awareness of meditation the mind, when one sees with the awareness of the meditation through meditative training, and the mind, and which has nothing to see, that which has nothing to see in terms of color, in terms of form, in terms of any inherent or innate existence, when the awareness of meditation sees the mind, then the meaning that is understood or realized is seeing that there is nothing to see, understanding that there is nothing to see. So arriving to the meaning of seeing that there is nothing to see, but that experience of seeing that there is nothing to see, yet the constant self-manifesting of awareness takes place. There is nothing to see, yet constant self-manifesting awareness is there. And when there is the experience of constant self-manifesting awareness, not so much in the way of a perceiver and perception, but at the same time, self-manifesting awareness is taking place, and then there is a possibility that one's conceptual mind wants to intervene, and not allowing one's conceptual mind to intervene from the point of view of could this be, could this not be, the self-seeing awareness, could it be or could it not be, and so free of the conceptual, thus the obscuration of labeling, so could this be, could that be, simply resting in the self-arising awareness is then the Laktong experience of panoramic insight.
다 디제 되네 화동 기타 기타 줘봐레스 디 기타 줘 델라 율라 테베 율메 삼수 통 삼라 테베 세메 모 니라 테베 인데 그런서 로사 셈진네 고 봐봐쇼 다티 카르테열잖아 두자 저로라 소비기 치 율 투도 샤와 율 대남라 드네 냠바르 샤즘 율 투티 몰라 냠바르 샤지 테베체 율 투데 한신지 마두바 스템제로 바이나 이스 율라 테베 유메센 투톤스 아 뭐, 유 투도 뭐 냠바르 샤지 테인데 율 투도 what is doing all number chats doing all is down the same current country to down the same like the same same all the young same current all number chats on the sending all young so the cover is the Tamala so the same current that she your matter that you change the same matter. Then you're the Ronyam to number Yasin, did test, that in Ronyam, you're the using Ronyam, more number Yasin, David, then Nila Davis, you're the using Ronyam, you're the using Ronyam, the David, Ronyam, the number Yasin, David, then you're the using Indian, Ransar Trone, or certain I didn't use the matter of you're the matter. I use send down the same. That's your Nangi, you think some Nijana matter. Nijana is the matter of the game or number that day on it. Then you're the using Indian, but you are that human. Yes, you did, and I was a similar.
Then the next verse is also further the crystallizing or clarifying the point of vipassana or the Laktong insight. And as one rests in the nature of the sense perceptions or sense objects and sense perceptions in meditation, then the sense objects or sense perceptions do not exist outside of the mind. And as one rests in the nature of the mind, then the nature of the mind do not exist outside of its emptiness nature. The mind not having shape or form or any specific existence. So, sense objects or sense perceptions do not exist outside of the mind, and the mind do not exist outside of its nature of emptiness. And resting in the non-dual state of mind, non-dual or one flavor state of mind, that is nature of sense perceptions, nature of mind being the same, and therefore resting in the essence, the emptiness nature of mind. When you rest your mind in the non-dual emptiness nature of mind, then dualistic fixation and dualistic conceptual reality becomes self-liberated. Self-liberated meaning that when you are resting in the non-dual nature of the mind, there is no experience of dualistic fixation happening at the same time. With the experience of non-dual insight of emptiness nature, there is self-clarifying, self-deliberation, self-dissipation, if you would, of dualistic fixation. And with that, allow one's mind to rest in the natural play of luminosity, meaning constantly self-manifesting of unimpeded awareness.
Ah, yeah. That's all you can do.
Are we getting anywhere?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is 다 디제텔라 이제 저완데 네 차자자 타당 저외 엄마 전보인 네네 군주 도전 현장 자 지기 군는 도 배는 더 다 되게 다 단에 지낸다 사동 니담바 이 길라 송주게 난저 대 냠네 tel라 되네 명망보요 했다 또 하나 질 명망보요 소 디냠네 또 하나 질 명망보요 가르잖아 다 길라 송주게 난저 냠네 집에 가라 사르바인 동바인 송주인 삼바그 로이기 이제 짠theo 말이 이제 탐대 traverse 보여를 쓰고 마셔 이해를 찾아 아니 사바인 담이를 동바인 담이를 사동 소르니 담이를 근데 가야 매봐 인도 이제 traverse 어때네 이제 traverse 되네 차제 전보인 이제 traverse 차제 이제 traverse 차제 전보를 어때네 이제 traverse 차제 Then some tender number Yabuka, sending over there, Yobada, Mabada, Nikada, Imela Sobeki, Tatamje, Ranjin Charu Yoris. They in the Tada Trail, Omachambo, and Terranis. Oh, then Tata Teta will get in a Major sending along Jingol, number Yayon, then Tella, then Konde Ramjamji, Sure Tamje, Malupa Tamje, sempi ngola zoba indena den zoba 첨보야 니 타다 저 오마 첨보 인데네 군주 도신 시장 자 콘데지 출마를 받고 되는 디데나 어 되네 다 강한다 출마를 받고 되는 디시 zoba 어 되네 지키 군든 도페 된서 표스 다 되는데 되네 다 디센진nel로 도바텔라 차제 첨보 시기요리 오마 첨보 시기요리 도바 첨보 시기요리 간다 다 차제 첨보 또나 오마 첨보도 도바 첨보 또요리 된디 제키나 군 오마 첨보 야보시 또나 차제 첨보 도바 첨보 또요리 도바 첨보 야보시 또나 오마 첨보 차제 첨보 또요리 된디 제키 군지 되는 도비 된 거죠 그래서 다디 천지 남다
Thus, when one has tamed one's mind properly through the Shine practice of calm abiding, as well as one has gained perfect insight through the Saktong meditation of Vipassana, and through the combination of Shine and Saktong, Shamatha and Vipassana, then it is possible for one to experience complete insight into the nature of a mind. And thus, when through the application of these two methods, the nature of the mind is realized, that nature of the mind that has been realized, or that has become manifest now, is known by different names. So is name of that experience known by different names, free of any conceptual encapsulation. See, the nature of mind is emptiness. Nature of mind is appearance, luminosity. Nature of mind is inseparability of emptiness and appearance free of any conceptual or intellectual encapsulation of any kind, sort of giving up in that sense, and that unconditioned experience, free of any intellectual and mental encapsulation, is Mahamudra. And then, free of that, the mind existing, free of the notion of existence or nor non-existence and nor being both, free from thus the obstacles of extremes is the great middle way. And the great middle way, or Madhyamaka, and then all the meaning of samsara and nirvana being fulfilled in it, or in the realized within it, is the experience of the great fulfillment or the great perfection of Mahāti. So the next verse is saying, these are the different names the experience is known by. When the complete realization of shamatha and vipassana has been accomplished, nature of mind, then these are the different names that it is known by. But whatever name it is known by, it's giving many names to the same meaning. Because if one has realized Mahamudra, or through the methods of the Mahamudra, then one has at the same time realized the great middle way and Mahāti, because essentially the difference is only names, not in the meaning, not in the realization. And if one has realized the great middle way, then one has at the same time realized Mahamudra and Mahāti. And if one has realized Mahāti, and then one has at the same time realized Mahamudra and the great middle way. So realizing one is realizing all, or then since in essence same, different in names, therefore realizing one is also realizing all. So in terms of the names by which this realization is proclaimed.
Shangpa mebe deshin jinche tenzin mebe wasa tibyo na lola nebe medo lunje zonne nyamyo jinche mebar shos ta tegi nyam tenpa res nyam seke tene chitang ngandu gom jabala nyam tene misi ke na choba si yore de ta yena yang to rabo te nyam tela dewe ke nyam la sarwe ke nyam la medo ke nyam sum yore te yinde tin tangbo te Shangpa mebe deshin jinche me ene che ngandu gom jabde dewe ke sem dewa da ludan sem tamde dela na dewe ke nyam jabde tene tela pe misi ke zimba jena tene kiriyo ma res tene te tela shenja zimba na Shangpa me nyam nyam kade yume te yume kade Shangpa mebe deshin jinche me sta dewe ke nyam sana tela me shanda tene sarwe ke nyam se te yang pe misi te tama chik chayongwa shiyongwa ke nyam tene shanda te ka te nyam te nyambo la te nyambo ma zhong na yang tel chenchen shungo namdo te yinde tene Shangpa mebe deshin chenchen mebe resab chikyo ta tela tene yang chamang jingi lo zimba ma sarwe ta lo lan de ne to jin jin de yang ne to ba chen na tong be nyam xia yong de tham je tong ba de tam be tong be nyam xia yong de ni ti tong ba de la yang ji le je ki tong ba ni de le je xia be tong ba ni ta ma xia ba ba yin ji fang jin jin tong be ni na ma de le je ji tong ba le je ki tong ba de ti nyam sun ta nyam bu sun ne Lolan de to de to me nyam ne je me ba to ne dewa da sarwa tong de nyam sun te yong we ke dewa da me yong de to ba inde gi de to se ni ma ri to wa na yina ya ran shin je chong na ne ji nyam yong di de de la ni je ja de ma na ni ya nang to me nyam de je na sarwa se de namdo ram namdo me je sen de ran shin namdo jedo da sta tenge de sin tela tene namdo treken tene tel namdo jelen do na taksi ha sta ring bola tene wall ni ya chenjin de sa ha tel chenjin o tarwa tel chenjin da ni ore tarwa tel de na namdo wa ti nyam bola ta chenjin da
The next verse deals with what different experiences one encounters in the process of the practice of meditation. Of course, in the process of the practice of meditation, one encounters all kinds of experiences, tremendous experiences of ups and downs, in that because because of all kinds of habitual patterns and habitual sort of mental outlook and mental makeups that we have, and trying to break through all of that, so we experience all kinds of ups and downs, and also because of not only such sort of case history, if you would, that we are working with, but because of the circumstantial influence that we are vulnerable to, that also create a very different atmosphere of sort of mode of experiences. So therefore, the climate of the experiences changes drastically from one to the other and going through. But the most common, further along the path, the most common experiences that one comes across not experiences in terms of true realizations, but experiences that are connected with the journey on the path is three common experiences come along. And one is experience of the glimpses of joy or bliss. And in the practice of meditation, further along the path, that as one is experiencing the stability and the natural calmness of the mind, that there is some experience of sort of joy or bliss that begins to permeate or begins to surge in one's meditation. Then, when such experiences do arise, that one should not have attachment to the experience, because the attachment to the experience is an obstacle or obscuration to the further maturing of one's practice. So, when that arises, the antidote is not to have attachment, to be detached from holding on to it. Then the second experience is the other experience, not that they come in sequence, but whichever comes. The second experience is the experience of a glimpse of clarity. That as one said, and once all the distractions of one's mind settles, and there is some great sense of clarity, sort of sharpness and alertness that begin to prevail. And if one sort of gets very much carried away by that sense of clarity or that sense of wakefulness, then it's like you're on the verge of distraction, and so that not clinging to the clarity also, in the sense of not clinging to the clarity as any sort of substantial entity, and not to therefore cling or hold onto it, because if one does, then that produces thoughts and distractions. Then the third obstacle is the experience of intellectually created notion of emptiness. One's conceptual notion of emptiness rather than experiential emptiness. So when it is related to the meditation experience, in that when one's mind comes down and clears of distraction, and then there is the space free of distraction, there is openness free of distraction, and thinking, this is emptiness. And so mentally created emptiness, as opposed to experientially arising emptiness that does not need any conceptual recognition. And therefore, when the three primary obstacles come into play, to recognize them and not to entertain them, simply speaking. And also, the practice of the meditation therefore must continue free of effort. So the final lines, the practice of meditation must continue free of effort. And the experience or the practice must continue free of effort, the effort meaning doubts and expectations, simply, and that not hoping that this experience of bliss or clarity or emptiness or whatever will continue, and also in the next sessions that hope those experiences come to play. So expectations and doubts that maybe something will come into, some intrusion will take place, and therefore that this experience might be gone, that hope it doesn't go, and will will one have these kind of experiences repeatedly, and so in this way, and or at the time of the practice, and also otherwise, that not inviting the obstacles or the efforts of doubt and expectation. How can one sort of maintain this better? And now the next verse explains. With the next verse, we are moving from the glimpses of experience level to the experiences of insight or realization, from experiences to realization. And when the realization begins to dawn, then the way the realization takes place is the good experiences or glimpses, in the way of the glimpses of the experiences of emptiness or clarity or bliss also fade. The more sort of the negative experiences of conflicting emotions and distractions and the upheaval of conflicting habitual tendencies, sort of the negative experience, if you would, the positive experience of emptiness and bliss and clarity also dissipate. The negative experiences of conflicting emotions, surging of all kinds of things, that because when you're sitting in the meditation and outside and free, when the mind is sort of the senses all focused on one, then all the habitual things arise with more clarity and more intensity than ever. Such experiences also dissipating. And when, therefore, negative habitual thought-related experiences dissipate, and positive, the maturity in the practice-related thoughts also dissipate, then what begins to manifest out of those such dissipations and such a sort of falling away of the layers of conceptual and habitual obscurations is then the ordinary mind. The term here, the Mahamudra term, is the ordinary mind becomes manifest. Ordinary mind, ordinary not in the sense of ordinary and extraordinary, ordinary simply in the sense of what is naturally so. Ordinary in that sense. Ordinary mind begins to manifest. And, which is another way of saying, the true nature of mind. Ordinary without any sort of, makeups or without any the fabrications, the simple mind, ordinary mind become manifest. And this, when the ordinary mind become manifest, then there is no negativities that needs to be gotten rid of. There is no virtue or goodness that needs to be taken up or accumulated. And all sort of dualistic activities, tendencies, have become exhausted. And so, this experience of ordinary mind is the ultimate experience in terms of the nature of mind. And so again in the aspiration and the prayer form, saying, this ordinary mind, which is free of any ornamentations, which is free of anything in the way of discrediting, exaggeration, contrivances, free of any kind of conditioning, that may that continue to become manifest.
다 자제 전부기 원바테 살아기 원테 근데 공에 공도 들어와라 쪄바고요. 근데 쪄바라 지난 게 되네. 라마라 먹고요. 근데 걸어와라 민용. 근데 사바도 또 다른 데 값이 되네. 인제 된다고. 근데 근데 인제 대 담보 되네. 인제 무슨 와잖아. 도여나신 다도 상계장 마도왕의 삶의 거만 농한마다 내대 진짜라 은혜인지 뒤라 저러서 다디 인제 무슨 근데 가르잖아 도와심제 참제게 라신 예로 되네 상계를 옛날에 되네 예로 상계게 라신 때 랑게 마도발라 때네 되네 다다 남진 되네 요mon다 내다 근데 때는 수박 상관이에요. 될 때는 동안 못하면 용들이 심지에 참자라. 되네. 다시 되네 문제 잡히지 않죠. 이 문제 뭐지? 문제 깨고
So this is now in connection with the meditation part, and then we move on to the activity or the action part. As Rinpoche had explained previously, the when we talk in terms of view, meditation, and action, action or activity means that which supports, that which affects the maturation of the meditation, that which supports, that which inspires the meditation. And so the activities, while many, are the most important activities or actions are in one's everyday life as well as in formal practices to cultivate devotion. Devotion to the lineage or devotion to the Guru. Devotion is an important vehicle towards developing the meditative insight. And another important also element is the renunciation, which is understanding of the futility of world, samsara, in terms of how the whole operation is taking place on the basis of the illusion of reality, and the deception. It's a deception in the sense that we believe in its goodness, in its authenticity, what have you, and always sort of it keeps backfiring on us in the futility of samsara from that point of view. And another equally important point is compassion, the developing of genuine heart of compassion. So among various other methods and activities, these three are the main activities that support the practice of development of meditation and meditative insight. Here in this particular text, then the primary focus is compassion. How the compassion should be the one that help or effect sort of more expedient realization. And in order to generate genuine heart of compassion, then one must first have a very good sense of the need or why one should generate compassion. So the next verse therefore explains that why one should generate compassion, and that is the nature of all sentient beings are Buddhas, in that all sentient beings have the potential to experience Buddhahood or endowed with the Buddha nature. The nature of all beings at all times are Buddhas. But not knowing oneself in that sense, not knowing in the context of not knowing who you are, not knowing one's nature of mind, the Buddha nature, and on the other hand, having a total misconception of one's own reality, positing in its place the reality of self and I, and thus continuing to live the reality that is perpetuated by the belief in self and I, therefore not realizing one's own Buddha nature, falling into the cycle of samsaric existences, and therefore constantly being lost and in the endless cycle of samsara. And having lost in the endless cycle of samsara, beings experience inconceivable sufferings. There is no end to sufferings, and there is no end to the varieties of sufferings. If not this one, then something else, constantly experiencing inconceivable sufferings. And if beings are by nature, if it's their sort of inherent, if it's inherently their nature that they must suffer, the situation is totally helpless, and there's no even point of feeling anything about it. But the reason that one should feel compassion is that beings could become so confused, that the beings could go so far removed from their potential, and so that the situation is, no matter how seemingly sort of irreparable, but the potential is always intact. And how so fully, that sort of how much beings could be confused. And so with that understanding about beings, then genuine heart of compassion therefore manifesting towards beings. It's like irresistible heart of compassion, as it says, is irresistible heart of compassion goes towards sentient beings. That how confused sentient beings could have become. And even though the potential is so different as to what beings are going through. So, in the form of the aspirational prayer, so one's aspiration or the wish is that knowing the sufferings of sentient beings, seeing the sufferings of sentient beings, may the experience of irresistible compassion become manifest in one's life, one's experience that one can show towards sentient beings. Then the next verse is again that from the point of view of the importance of inseparability of the skillful means of compassion and the wisdom of emptiness. And in manifesting the compassion, basically the essence of what is presented here is, when there is experience of compassion, that experience of compassion should not be obscured by emptiness. And at the same time, the experience of emptiness should not be obscured by compassion. So that is the way it's presented, meaning normally, because of our tremendous habit of duality, as we have talked before, when we think of appearance, it is in the absence of emptiness. When we think of emptiness, it is in the absence of appearance. And sort of duality is our habitual notion of reality. So, at the same time, when there is emptiness, maybe there is no compassion. When there is compassion, maybe there is no emptiness. So one should not obscure the other. One should not occupy, in that sense, the place of the other. That they can happen together, inseparably, and the emptiness should be joined by compassion, and compassion should be joined by emptiness inseparably. So our experience could be, generally, there is compassion, meaning that we have this heart of caring for others, and we go through this tremendous experience of sort of emotional compassion. And not that it has to be totally absence of emotion, but our kind of emotion is very dualistic, very sort of materialistic approach to compassion, very emotional compassion, and therefore that when we are able to have a little bit of caring and a little bit of kindness and compassion, it becomes a very exhausting experience. And it's very limiting and a very exhausting experience, because it is not joined by the view of emptiness. It is not joined by the experience of emptiness. And then when we sort of try to hold on to the notion of emptiness, then there is no compassion. It's like space and space. And there's no experience of compassion, the activity of compassion, the yearning, the longing, the caring, what have you, is not there. So there must be joining of compassion, the skillful means of compassion, and the wisdom of emptiness. Then inseparability of emptiness and compassion is unconditioned compassion, unconditional compassion. And unconditioned compassion could be spontaneous, could become effortless. And as such, the one should not obscure the other, and when there is the inseparability of compassion and emptiness, then it is also the greatest protection from falling into any kind of sidetracks as far as the path is concerned. The path which is the inseparability of compassion and emptiness is path free of any possible sidetracks, and thus getting lost in the wrong view or in the wrong methods and what have you, free of such. Thus, this which is the most supreme of the path and the practice, joining of compassion and the wisdom of emptiness. May one be able to nurture this experience, have this experience continuously throughout the course of day and night, and also free of any blemishes in the way of wrong view, in the way of compassion, absence of emptiness, or emptiness, in the absence of compassion, free of any blemishes, may one be able to carry it on and around at all times in one's life.
Bondo blazon janda ngje da simje minje sanje chana da sanje shonam de manam zomi thajin zomi jansin thajin sanje sho seda ti dribuk ten tambare o ten tela karisana tene ta thari mando kondu tembe kene chaje chembu ki tagum chende ne tamjende gone tene chaje chembu chwa nan de gombala tene ti gonde tobje ji gombe ge yende tene jen nga da ngombar shiba nga sen de yo le sta donna je shudi ni ju shudi je serap ji at le yo shi at le na de khandar ji kom ji da ya yende Tibetan membership of Nala Sopa, Tindo Rinde, Ya, Jonathan, Tommy, Tene, Ondo Legend, Tene Stingen, La Shady membership. Tene San Madabe, Jikinga Kampanji, Jan Tabi, Shangri, I give up. Tene, oh, Tabi, no, I read it, no. Tene Sanji did what I shall Sopi, and then Tanji, Tene, Tanji, in the thought and the transform to do that, and I am really having this. Then it did you get a touching it, and the Sanji
Then the next verse is making the aspiration, thus through the nurturing and the fostering of the proper view and the proper meditation and the proper action, may one realize the fruition. And so the next verse concerns fruition, and for that, as far as the fruition is concerned, then may one become endowed with the fruition, and which is also known as the five foresight and the five eyes, which are different names of the different aspects of the attributes of enlightenment, as well as the abilities and the activities to being able to benefit beings, affect the ripening of beings, and then also other aspects of the fruition, that is transcending of all impure outlooks, and all impure outlook transformed into the pure outlook, thus perceiving everything from the point of view of the enlightened mind. In short, whatever in the way of clarifying, ripening or maturing, and fulfilling in the way of fruition is necessary, that may all such realizations become totally integrated into one's experience. And then the last verse concerns with the aspirational prayer of dedication, and that is by the power of the compassion, unconditioned compassion of Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, and as well as by the power of one's own pure practice, such as doing the Mahamudra prayer of aspirations, as well as whatever other wholesome actions, and by the power of one's pure intention. At the same time, by the power of the collective wholesome actions of oneself and all sentient beings and all beings, whoever has accumulated virtuous actions, by the power of this, therefore, the collection of virtues and one's pure aspiration becomes fulfilled. The pure aspiration being realizing the ground, path and fruition of the Mahamudra for the benefit and the liberation of beings.